Control of the U.S. Senate hinges on two runoff elections in Georgia. Before I talk about the runoff coming up on January 5th, we have to understand the results from November 3rd's election. Joe Biden won the state's 16 electoral votes by 0.24%, an 11,000 vote difference. He did not get 50% though, which is important to keep in mind. This is around a 4-point increase for Joe Biden compared to Hillary Clinton's results in 2016. Trump lost about 1% of support from his 2016 results. In all races other than the presidential election, Georgia law requires a runoff election if no candidate receives over 50% of the vote. This law caused 3 runoff elections in Georgia that will take place January 5th. For the regular Senate race, David Perdue has been the incumbent senator for one term and was elected with nearly 53% of the vote. He is facing off against Jon Ossoff. The 2020 Senate election had Democrats increase their support by around 2.69% from Perdue's last election in 2014. Perdue lost around 3% of the vote compared to 2014. This is probably due to higher libertarian turnout in this race, at least compared to the presidential election. In the special election, Kelly Loeffler is defending her seat from Democrat challenger Reverend Raphael Warnock. Loeffler is an appointee that replaced Senator Johnny Isakson. Isakson was most recently elected in 2016 with 54.8% of the vote. There is also a third runoff election for District 4 of the Public Service Commission. Incumbent Bubba McDonald received just under 50% of the vote, and challenger Daniel Blackman received 47%. This seat will likely be held by Republicans. Now back to the actual focus of the video. An important voting group in Georgia are Republicans that voted for Biden. Most of these voters also voted for Perdue, but they were split in the Senate special election between various candidates. So, will conservatives that voted for Biden turn out for Republicans, Democrats, or neither in the runoff elections? Another important voting bloc are infrequent voters that turned out for Democrats. These voters are mostly in the Atlanta area. So, will these infrequent Democratic voters turn out for the runoff, or will they stay home? There is one more important voting bloc that could decide the election: the Trump supporters. These voters do not nearly make up a majority in the state, but they are a large group. Republican Senate candidates really need these voters, but they also need the more moderate Republicans at the same time. So, will Trump's base turn out for Republicans, or will they not vote in the runoff at all? There's essentially 3 important groups of voters. Republicans will need to get the Trump base and moderate Republicans to win. We know this because Trump lost Georgia because he did not have the moderate votes. But Perdue did win a plurality because he held on to moderate voters, for the most part. Democrats might be able to win with just one of these voting blocs, the infrequent Democratic voters. This is assuming that the Trump base does not turn out because they either don't care about the Senate elections or they think that the election is rigged. If the Trump Republicans turn out for Perdue and Loeffler, Democrats are practically toast unless they can get a lot of moderate Republicans to vote for them instead of Perdue and Loeffler. Here is a list of what each side needs to happen if they want to win. Basically, Democrats will win if the Trump base does not turn out, and Republicans are highly favored to win if the Trump base turns out for them. Of course, these groups will not all act unanimously, so maybe some Trump supporters will turn out, but some won't. It's hard to say. The question of who will win this election is a difficult one. These Senate races are practically 50-50. The polls aren't showing consistency other than showing that Perdue is doing better than Loeffler and Warnock is doing better than Ossoff. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Make sure to like it and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and dislike it if you did not enjoy it. Goodbye.